Today at Audio City USA, we are covering the top 10 cars that are dead for 2024. This is one you certainly don't want to miss. Let's go. Now, there's no particular order to this, we're just going to get straight into it. But before we get going, be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned because we're bringing out content every single week. Now, I'm referring here to a list by Car and Driver. They put this out early in the year. Arguably the saddest ones that I have to report on is the Audi R8 Coupe and Convertible. The Audi R8 has been an icon ever since it was released in, I think it was 2008, but it was featured here in Iron Man, which was a fantastic film. And not only is the R8 dying, and its legendary V10 is to not exist any longer, but they're also taking out the Audi TT. Love it or hate it, the Audi TT has been an iconic two-seater sports car for decades now. I loved it. I personally wish that I had more of a chance to drive it, but they're axing that too. Audi's made this decision because they're moving to all electric. They're one of those manufacturers that fully wants to focus on EV stuff, which is so sad in my book. I think EVs have a place, but I don't think it's at the cost of killing out ICEs, combustion engines. I think they sound fantastic, and at least if they keep a niche, like little few of those cars, then we can be happy. Next up, we have the Chevy Bolt. Thank God this one's dying. On that topic of terrible EVs, this car was rubbish when it was new. It's terrible now. I can't wait to see it go. Look at it. It looks like a sad car. Like, you're driving this, you eat granola, it's not great. And they're also taking out the EUV. Part of the reason that Chevy is axing these two vehicles is because of their terrible reliability. Obviously, when you release a new EV, you're gonna have some niggles and some issues to get rid of, but these cars, they're not great. Like I said, they were terrible when they were new. I'm happy to see them go. Chevy is gonna focus on other EVs. There are rumors that the Silverado EV is coming out. I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, it's coming whether you like it or not. The next one is one that a lot of Americans hold near and dear, and that is the Dodge Charger and Challenger are both getting discontinued in 2024. The days of listening to that supercharger whine, that little scream that we all know and love is gone. So now let's take a moment to listen to it one last time. It's a sad day. I don't know what they're going to replace it with, or even if they've planned to replace it, but those are going, as well as the Chrysler 300C. Now, love it or hate it, the 300C has been around forever, and a fun fact about that car is it's actually based on the Mercedes E-Class platform from the early 2000s. Mercedes built this platform during the 90s, released it in the early 2000s, and Mopar went, you know what, let's take it and let's use it up until 2024. So it's amazing that they've used it for so long, but those are also dying. Next up, we have the F8 Tributo. Ferrari has sledged to axe this car by the end of 2024. This car was, I think in my mind, a sleeper. You hear about the 458 and everybody loved that car, especially when it came out. That naturally aspirated V8 was amazing. Take a listen, this thing sounds incredible. But the F8 was a twin turbocharged version, which was more extreme than the 458 and the 488. But even this car has now come to an end. Next up, we have Jeep. Jeep is axing a few cars as well. We have the Jeep Cherokee and the Jeep Renegade. Both are scheduled for deletion at the end of 2024. And it's nearly been a decade since the current Jeep Cherokee model has been out, and they're finally getting rid of it. Now, the nameplate will return in the future, but it will be a battery-powered electric SUV. No surprises there. We're shifting that way whether you like it or not. They're going to drag you kicking and screaming into the electric future. Next up, we have the Kia Stinger and the Kia Rio. Kia Rio wasn't much of a car here, but if you're Australian like me, which most of you won't be because we're in the Freedom Lands, but the Kia Rio was a very popular car overseas. Tiny little hatchback, that's going. That's kind of sad too, because we do need some low-end, cheap, entry-level cars. I mean, you can't just be selling super expensive cars and expect people to buy them. It's the same with Ford F-150s. Used to be a dependable truck, now it's just an over-glorified $150,000 luxury car. It just is. Not to mention, Kia is also getting rid of the Stinger. Now, I never really liked this car. The V6 was underpowered for the weight of the vehicle. It didn't really work for me, but I know a lot of people loved it. The styling was great. I mean, the Kia Stinger looks like a fantastic car, but it's just coming to an end. Next up on the list is the McLaren 720S. Big, sad moment right there. The 720 is an iconic car that I know a lot of people grew to love. Reliability was hit and miss. Sometimes it was a great car, and other times it was just a flaming pile of McLaren. But it is not all sad news, because they're going to replace it with the 750S, which is a more powerful, reworked version of the 720. So there's something to look forward to, because it's not dying, it's being reborn. Like a phoenix from the ashes, it will be back and better than ever. Next up for deletion is the Mercedes C-Class Coupe and Convertible. I love the C-Class, and it is sad to see that they're deleting the two-door variants. They are going to keep it on as a CLE, but as the name indicates, the E is more luxury orientated and not so sporty. So you can bet the C63S is going to go. They're obviously going to keep the four-door variant, but the coupe is done. And not only that, Mercedes is also going on to axe the E-Class Coupe and Convertible, including the AMG models. This is a very topsy-turvy year. We have some amazing cars coming out, and they're absolutely killing off these legends right here. These are legendary cars. The coupes are no more. And it's kind of like back in the day when BMW killed off the E46 coupe and replaced it with the M4. Maybe we'll see something like that. Maybe we won't. Number 9, we have the Nissan Maxima. Now, depending on your stance with Nissan, a lot of people love them. These days, Nissan's kind of shitty. They used to be amazing in the 90s. They've made some of the most legendary sports cars of all time. And these days, they're just making rubbish, honestly. In my opinion, it's just garbage. The Maxima marks the end of the full-size sedan segment for Nissan. They're going to focus on other things as well. They're still going to keep the Versa, Sentra, and Ultima, but at the end of the day, they had so many sedans, it's not such a sad moment that the Maxima is going. It was the highest, most premium version of their sedan, but they do have other options, and it is nice to see, as much as Nissan's taken a turn and starting to make weird cars, it's cool to see that they still have some budget options available. I actually give them points for that, but they did bring back the Z. I like the Z. I think it's overpriced and dealerships are absolutely robbing people right now, but it's a fantastic looking car. Like, we can all admit it looks great. And finally, we have BMW. BMW makes some fantastic sports cars. They're keeping those combustion engines alive, but they are killing off the manual for 2024. The M2 is the final car that BMW is going to produce with a stick shift, which is a sad day for car lovers all over. Now, yes, it's not the fastest way to change gears. Yes, it's not the most efficient. It's a certain pleasure that you have when you drive, especially if you like nice twisty B roads or canyons. A manual transmission just is like no other, and it is sad that they're going to get rid of it, but it is okay because BMW is keeping alive those beautiful inline sixes, despite the fact that people email horsepower and do terrible crackle tunes on them. But I will forgive them for that, because it means at least people are having fun with the car. That is the list of the 10 most important cars that are getting deleted for 2024. Which one makes you the most upset? Let me know in the comments below. The saddest thing for me is the fact that Audi's killing off the V10s, but you might have a different opinion. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because we're bringing out content like this every week. Keep up with us at AudioCityUSA.com. If you need wheels for your car, you know where to go. We're the leaders in the automotive space when it comes to wheels and tires, so go nowhere else. Visit our website, get yourself some wheels, and have yourself a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one.